Are you stalking me? Because that would be super.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, I am going to um, start rebuilding this place. And I don't know how long it's going to take me to do this. There's some activity over there. Hopefully, it doesn't affect me here, but we'll find out. But anyway, so the first thing that I'm going to need to do is make some changes on this because we cannot have this building in its current state. It's pretty much useless and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's get these beds out of here. Oops. And then we will go from there. And yeah, so we will empty this place out and come back with some sort of a plan to fix this up. Now, many people have gone through the process of fixing this up, so I'm not going to pretend like what I'm doing is earth shattering or, groundbreaking or whatever. But there's only so much you can do with this. However, I will do my best to at least do something mildly unique with it. So let's go ahead and see how this is going to go, and we will go from there. Let's start with getting rid of this. Store that, store that. Okay, so what I've done is I've put in the formation or the beginnings of a building here. And I've got the first floor all knocked out, sealed up, all that kind of fun stuff. And then I've established the second floor, and we will go ahead and continue that, but not at the moment. We are going to um, move on with clearing out the debris. But before we do that, I'm going to sleep or sit or something so that way there's some daylight. This is the one lonely guy that's not sleeping. So let's get some sleep. So that way you guys can actually see what's going on. Um, I did. I'd never rebuilt this house or this building before, and I'd seen a few other people do it. Lois is one of them, and a few other people. And they used the old materials and that type of thing. And so I thought, well, how hard can it be? One of the things that I found is you cannot glitch in from the front or the back. That was kind of interesting. I had to glitch in from the side. Don't know why, but same building would not go from the front or the back. It would not go in there. I had to go in from the side. So anyway, so I'm going to leave that like that, and we're going to go ahead and go through and clear out all the old riffraff, the stuff that we don't need, and we will go from there and start discussing my plans for what I want to do with this place. So I decided I don't want walls, or at least not in the traditional sense of a wall. I want to try something a little bit different. I think it's um, a kind of a different idea. I don't know if I've seen anybody do it yet, but it was something that maybe somebody's done it. I don't know. I'm not going to take 100% credit. If you guys have seen somebody do it, then great. You can let me know if you feel so inclined, but if not, hey, maybe I am the first one to do this. We will find out. So, the closest thing I'm going to have to a wall is. See, I was really messed up with this. I couldn't even, like, put in crappy walls. That's how bad I was. No, no. So, we're going to have to take out our defenses. Yep. Sorry, Mr. Water. We'll get you back and going. Um, these spotlights are such a pain in the butt. Get that out of here, out of here, out of here. And now we can kind of get rid of these. Don't need these here anymore because splash. because we just don't, right? There's a bathtub. We don't need a bathtub. Let's get that out of here. Um, Last night was sleeping under the stars night. The we the Stellars and I discussed it, and that's what they wanted to do. So I found an uh, old bag of marshmallows, and I let them roast some marshmallows, and we had a good old time. All right, so that's the majority of what we're going to do. So let me discuss my plans. So instead of having walls, what I would like to do is I'm going to build some items that make up like partial walls, and it's going to be designed to more funnel the enemy, any attacks to certain areas where we can have better defenses and that type of thing. So what I want to do is I want to build um, either some kind of large buildings that are partitioned, or a bunch of smaller buildings, um, houses and shops and whatever, and their backs will be along the outside. Okay, so their backs are going to essentially be the wall of the settlement, or at least the partial wall that we will have. So the back of the those buildings will be along here, wherever it is. And one of the things I will need to find out is I'm going to need to watch the provisioners. I've spent so little time here, I have no idea where the provisioners come in at, but I need to know where the provisioners do enter, so that way I can make sure that I have some sort of an entrance for that spot. And I think I have a kind of a neat, fun little entrance for this settlement. Um, I think it'll be fun and neat. Maybe somebody's done it before. I know there's been some kind of pseudo examples of it, but what I'm thinking of is medieval times, and I'm sure over in Europe they're still around. There was particularly like in castles and the like, there were the bridges that would allow people to traverse around cities, and the elite, and to include the whoever was in the government and that type of thing. They could kind of traverse around, and they would have this bridge walking over where the markets were and the peasants and all that, and those bridges would be covered up so people couldn't see them, and everything like that. So what I'm thinking is I want to build, let's say just for sake of argument, let's say the provisioners walk straight in here. So what I want to build is basically at minimum a two-story building that's going to go up, and the first story will have an opening in it. And essentially, as you walk in, you'll be walking underneath the second story of a building, which will look kind of like the bridges, um, from the medieval times. And so when they walk in, they're basically walking like straight into the community or what have you, almost like a castle, right? A castle without the drawbridge and the gates and all that. As you walk in, it's just boom, right there it is. I can really remember I was in Maastricht, Holland, while in the army, and um, when in Maastricht, we we were staying at a British concern, and just down the road past this zoo slash park thing. You walk down this path, and you go through the old castle gates. And as you walk in there, just there's this like an antechamber courtyard, very small, maybe 20, maybe 25 feet by 25 feet at the largest, and all enclosed in block and masonry and all that kind of stuff, obviously. And you walk through there and through this arch, and then there's another kind of archway through there, and then boom, you're right in the city. Like immediately, there's restaurants and there's shops and apartment buildings, or housing or whatever it was. It's been a fair number of years. Actually, it's been about 20 years since that was. But it was extremely interesting and it was extremely neat. And so it was kind of something along those lines that I'm thinking. So you walk in, and I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit on, or my idea is going to kind of expound, I should say, on that. But I think that would be kind of neat. You kind of walk in, you're covered over, and you're like, what's going on here? And then maybe it's open where you first walk in, and you're like, okay, well that's interesting. And then you look to your right, you look to your left, and you're like, oh wow, there's buildings over there, and there's um, you know, businesses, and there's um, housing, and all these things. Okay, so we have a provisioner. Let's keep an eye on this provisioner here. Maybe he's coming here. Maybe he's not. My let's just have a look. My we'll see what my supply lines look like. So my supply lines are all over the place. So actually, the provisioner for here should be coming from Greentop Nursery, which is north of me, right? Is that kind of north this way, right? Greentop Nursery. Yeah, so it's about that direction. So that's where I would expect the provisioner to be coming. Obviously, he's going to follow the road, and let's just see where he's coming in at. He's probably confused if he does come in here because he's going to come in here and there's no fences, so he can just walk right in wherever he feels like it. All right, so is that all the farther you're going? Is that it? You don't like stop or nothing? You don't take a break? Hello, dude. Really? Look, your Brahmin's tired, man. This poor Brahmin, and you're just like, yep. I'm just gonna, wear my old bratty old clothes with my old sneakers and just walk away and make this Brahmin carry that load of crap. You just got here. Like, stay for coffee? Never mind. Okay, so it's a pretty good sign. We got to see that it was like right here that he came in. Unfortunately, that doesn't give me much space, as we can see here. Let's see where the line goes. Right where I'm at, like right in here. So with the tree here, that's not gonna bode well for my plans. Now the question is, if I force him to come in, like right here where I initially mentioned, will that change anything? Will he come in here? Likewise, if I put up, what are those things called? Miscellaneous. Where's the Brahmin fence things? If I put one of those up, will he come in? I think it's under resources, right? It's been such a long time since I put one of those up. Yeah. Will he come in higher, farther up? Let me know in the comments where they come in. Anybody that knows exactly where the provisioners show up, if it is right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that with something. I'll put a post there, right? And then I'm going to put this, I'm not going to put that up. I am going to put this post here for the approximation of where he's going to show up. And I really need to find a new spot for this, new spot for that. And, but so he is likely going to go there. Let's go with something else, whatever that may be. Let's go with something blue. We'll go with this right now. Screw the Raiders, or the Raider. I like the Oakland Raiders, but anyway. So let's go with these cages because cages kind of like shipping crates, whatever. Let's go for those where I would like for them to go into. Okay, so in the comments, if you know where the provisioners come in, is it the concrete post or pillar, or is it the cages? Or do they happen to come over here by the water tank? All right, those would be the three that I would imagine. I don't think they're going to come from anywhere that direction, although, yeah. So that direction is southish, and unless I had, maybe tied to Nordhagen or something, which I don't, um, maybe they would come from that direction. But yeah, so they don't. Um, Maybe it depends on which direction they're coming in from. However, if anybody does know where they're coming in at, that would be awesome. Also, if you know that you can direct them where to come in by not allowing them to go to this one entrance, then that would be cool too. Not that it matters a whole lot because I don't need them to come in to continue the supply lines. Although I think it would be cool, especially if I
My
could
back hurts, my
kind of
feet hurt,
stage. Yeah,
everything hurts.
you hurt me. Okay. Maybe if I, especially if I could stage some sort of, thing, for where they're entering. So let me know in the comments where that might be. I'm going to proceed on building this, and I don't even know how long this has been going. So I got a new recording program, or I'm using a new recording program, and I don't see a clock at the moment. I switched to OBS Studio, and my last video was recorded in OBS Studio for Windows 10, and I think that it improved everything quite a bit. So that's what I'm going to use now. Moving forward, I may start dabbling in the audio with some of
Ain't
the
looking for
program,
trouble, I hope.
and
Yeah.
I may start looking at some different editing tools than what I currently use. But that really will force me to delve into my creativity, and I use a lot of it up just trying to build stuff. And obviously I don't have very much to spare because I'm not always that creative on my buildings. But yeah, so I am going to continue with this, and I think what we will make this is a kind of, this may be the only spot right through here where I'm actually going to have a fence, because this is going to be like an administration building, and offices, probably have a clinic in there. That's where the clinic will be. Those types of things. This is where settlers come to express their complaints, or ship their mail over to their buddies over in you know Spectacle Island or whatever. Right. This is the administration building of the settlement. This is where the movers and the shakers come to hang out and all that kind of stuff. So, but I don't want it open, to continue on with my kind of security idea. I don't want it open um, to everybody with the door right there. So I will put a wall along there. What that wall will be is yet to be determined. Um, so it may end up just being, the tried and true, maybe the tried and true um, junk fences, or oh, I almost made it. I almost made. Gosh, that was close. Yeah, maybe if I timed it a little bit better, I might have been able to land on top of that. That would have been pretty sweet. Maybe I will do the tried and true junk fences, or I will do something else. I haven't ever really built anything else. Um, I've never used concrete walls. Not real big fan of the concrete walls. But maybe I could do some sort of a mixture of the two. Maybe I could wander over to the National Guard place over here and try to get some inspiration, as it were, and maybe something will trigger and make me think of some new ideas for that. But we'll see. Um, how's that for inspiration? Just kill stuff. Ooh, Sentry Bot. He's mad. He's coming at me. Oh, blow up, Sentry Bot. Take that. Um, yeah, so um, maybe I'll come up with something a little bit more creative, and we can kind of go from there. However, I rambled far long enough for this video, so I am going to end it here. Let me run back over to where we're at. Remind everybody of the dire consequences that is this plan. Um, yeah, so wall. Hopefully, Provisioner does not come in here. I don't like that spot because of the tree. That's the only reason why I don't like it. It would make it very difficult to actually have the building idea that I want. One, two, because this building's there, and two, because the tree's there, and have this kind of grand opening into this big wide world of this settlement here at County Crossing. So keep that in mind and let me know what you think. Um, and let me know if you happen to know cage, concrete pillar, or water purifier, or other. So you have technically four options. And if it is other, please tell me what other is. And be descriptive, over by the farm, whatever it might be. So I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the video, even though it's mostly me rambling and being stupid, and describing my plans for this settlement. Let me know what you think of my plans. So obviously, you kind of may need to see it in action before you really develop an opinion, but your thoughts are welcome and encouraged. So have a great night.
And look how well that turned out.